Hi, it's Dr. Rogini. So today what I want to share with you is heart-to-heart connection. Connection with your environment, connection with another person, connection with situations. So last night I got this deep download, this deep transmissions of words, how to explain this to the world. So I have a certain way of explaining this for a long time, but the way it came through yesterday is much deeper. So I can literally use technical words to help you to connect and understand what is heart-to-heart connection. So what happens is, as humans, we as children, when we're born, we have this natural connection, this connection that's not polluted, this connection with the environment that's deep and loving. So with time, as we evolve, as we grow into an adult, there is going to be a lot of blocks of our heart center. So our heart center is the one that literally creates this joy every day. With our heart center, that's how we actually live our life at the fullest. The minute we connect from our head, cerebral to the environment connection, we lose a certain level of connection. And the minute we get too much in this cerebral connection, this gets blocked. But I want to tell you this, heart is always open. Your heart is always there, but the cerebral blocks this heart off. So the minute this becomes so loud, you start to feel this lack in life, this not enough in life, this resistance in life, this constant fight or flight mode. And so I'm going to go deep a little bit here so you can actually relate and see and have some awareness what's going on with yourself. And most of my courses that I've created in the past, all the master classes and the ones, any courses you've purchased like replays, you get to understand and start to connect with your heart. And through those classes, most of us who are constantly running in our cerebral, in our head, tend to become back into our heart and live life more deeper. So, and what I want to share here is, I see this all the time in my practice. So when a patient starts healing is when their heart is receiving the care. So same thing with us as practitioners or as business owners or as teachers or guides, the way that at the level your guidance penetrates and helps somebody else is when your heart is open. But the minute we take our heart off and switch back into our head, this gets blocked. And most of us are not even aware of, because that block has been there for a while. So it's so normal to you and you're like, how come my life doesn't feel right? So the reason why I also want to share this is most of us hold ourselves back from getting into a life that we really want to have. So what happens is the things that we're supposed to do, let's say the essentials, we tend to do only things that we feel connected to. So we let go of the ones that are essential. The essential ones are like, let's say you have to do this phone call. Let's say you have to do this thing to create something better in your life. But we tend to hold off. And the reason why we tend to hold off is because we lose our connection the minute we do it. So let's say you have to do this important phone call, right? And you're already connected, like you feel great in your body. And the minute you make the phone call, you get disconnected. So your brain starts to predict ahead of time. You're like, okay, if I make that phone call, I'm not going to feel good. So let's just avoid it. Let's wait, and let's wait. Well, that important phone call is an essential process, but because you're avoiding, it's kind of literally holding you back from evolving and creating the new level of life. So the minute we get into a heart connection, so the longer we can connect and remain in our heart, even when the environment is uncomfortable, even when the environment doesn't feel right, that's when we build this resilience with our heart center. Because our heart center, remember I said, it's always open. It's our brain that stops it. All these doubts and fears and anxiety stops it. But when you can hold that heart open, even in uncomfortable situation, you kind of became successful. That is true success, because that is evolution. That's growth. That's expansion. But most of us are trained to be like, okay, I don't feel connected, so maybe that's not for me. I don't feel right, maybe that's not for me. And you think that's your intuition. But your intuition might be misguided because you only can be intuitive according to your level of your growth. So you're kind of capped. So in order to uncap that, you have to expose yourself in environments that are uncomfortable. And you're not going to put yourself in environments that's not suitable for your own personal growth, but definitely you want to put in environments that's going to help you to evolve and become stronger, where you can actually, it's like give you back something in return. So as I said, as humans, we tend to hold ourselves back because the connection is disconnected. And because we want to be comfortable in the connection, and when we want to raise our standards and raise our next level of life, we tend to put one foot over and then bring it back. We go forward and then we come back because it's a little uncomfortable. But what if you can hold your, like that right foot there and then bring your other one forward while you are in that state of heart center? That's when you stop feeling wobbly. So this wobble can happen any time of our life because we're constantly evolving, we're constantly putting ourselves into new situations. And sometimes we don't put ourselves in new situations. New situations come towards us because it's part of our human evolution. It's a necessary process. Because it's coming, we have no control now. The control is there, but can you control your heart center while that's happening? While you're in there, can you control your heart center? Meaning that, can you keep and remain your heart center open without bringing your cerebral in? And this takes a lot of practice and focus. So now, why is this so important? This is essential. Like, this is something you cannot avoid. You have to do this. If you want to create a life of your dream, if you want to create the level of life with your family, with your loved ones, with your business, with anything, it's an essential process for next level growth. So what happens is most of us grow, and then there's this cap. Once we reach this cap, we are like, oh, maybe because I'm not meant to be. And then you remain comfortable and you stay right there. Okay? But if you want to get a little bit uncomfortable and keep your heart center open, you're going to let yourself get out of that. How do you do that? Training your heart center. Okay? So as I said, it's not really you're training your heart. Your heart is always open. It's always like your light is always shining. But it's our thoughts, our mind, our doubts, our fear, our worries, and our whatever thoughts that is holding us back literally closes the heart. Like, it covers, it's not closing the heart, it's covering the heart. Okay? And it's usually a trauma that covers our heart. Something happens along our life, multiple sets of traumas, multiple sets of events that stops us from growth. But it's your strength to pass through these experiences and stand in your power. The goal is to get back into your power. We need these obstacles. With these obstacles, human cannot evolve. We cannot reach our destinations. We cannot reach our dreams. It's because that's part of our human evolution. So my question here is, can you release these blocks and get back into your heart and reconnect with your higher level? Because heart-to-heart connection is a different paradigm. So cerebral to cerebral connection is one level of, it's this kind of world. When you go into heart-to-heart connection, it's a whole new level of world. It's not the same thing. They're two different things. And sometimes we tend to go in here, it's okay, because we need that cerebral connection, but that is just to stretch us. And then we have to get back into our heart. Okay? So cerebral connections are good. There's nothing bad being in the heart or cerebral. The goal is to, can you remain in your heart while the cerebral triggers you, strengthens you, and lets you see what's possible. Okay, so cerebral is like calculation. It's like, okay, I want to reach to this destination. But while you're reaching to this destination, can you remain your heart open without doubts, without fear, without losing yourself, without disconnecting your power? Okay, so if you want more information, you can go into our course page. There's a lot of courses. Whatever resonates with you, start with that. If you feel like you want to have one-on-one coaching, my partner, he's amazing heart center coach. I'm going to add that link right in the description box so you can actually connect with him, and he's going to help you to get back into your heart, because the heart is the present moment consciousness. So without being present, you cannot create the life that you want. So thank you for watching. We'll see you back on the next video.